Welcome back to our special Newsmax coverage of the third and thankfully final presidential debate of the 2016 season. I'm Ed Berliner, here to keep the rudder straight and chart the course through dangerous waters. That's where we are. Inviting you to join us right now. Comments and quips about this debate and where we might be going from here for the next 3 weeks. 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-639-7629. What did you see in the first few moments of the debate that either made you cringe or made you applaud? Welcome back, brand specialist, president of the M Network in Miami, Florida, Thom Mozloom, along with Newsmax correspondent Miranda Kahn. All right, let's get to some of the meat of what we're seeing here, because they are now starting to get into it a little bit. We are now talking about some of the ramifications of the Supreme Court decisions. You're laughing. Go ahead, man. You know me. I'm stopping for you when that comes up, you clown. Go ahead.
Say what you're dying to say.
I love you. I know you got something cooking.
I am so happy that this debate is going on right now and we're here.
Just because you don't have to watch
out of harm's way.
Yeah.
You're not out of harm's way, because it's the next 3 weeks we're going to be talking about this. That's the whole key. So here we go. This is Hillary Rodham Clinton. Let's go ahead and hear a little piece from tonight. This is Hillary Clinton talking about the U.S. government. They came down to discussing the abortion issue. She addresses it here and does not believe the government should be involved in abortion decisions. Here's what she said.
I do not think the United States government should be stepping in and making those most personal of decisions. So you can regulate, if you are doing so, with the life and the health of the mother taken into account.
Donald Trump came right back. She slammed Hillary Clinton over her comments. Here we go.
Well, I think it's terrible. If you go with what Hillary is saying, in the 9th month, you can take the baby and rip the baby out of the womb of the mother just prior to the birth of the baby. Now, you can say that that's okay, and Hillary can say that that's okay, but it's not okay with me. Because based on what she's saying and based on where she's going and where she's been, you can take the baby and rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month on the final day, and that's not acceptable.
We won't even get down to the factual issues that are involved here, because Donald Trump basically just stretched a whole lot of truths there when it comes down to a lot of decisions. But let's just deal with the abortion issue and what he did here. Tom, from an image standpoint, from that brand standpoint, he came out, was very emotional, spoke right to the individuals who are involved, people who believe that abortion is wrong. His wording is very well crafted, because that gets right into people's guts. That's smart.
Well, he's a very dramatic speaker, and he likes to wax poetic and be very sensational about things. The fact of the matter is that nobody is for abortion. Nobody's going to say abortion's a great thing. Every woman should have at least one. So it's sort of a touchy subject. The question going forward is, how do you mitigate abortions? How do you reduce the number? Do you legislate it? Or do you start an education campaign? I think both of these candidates are just playing for the emotions and not really talking about solutions.
But I think you also realize, remember, that worked really well for Carly Fiorina during the primary debates.
Yeah, different voice though, right?
Different voice, but you know,
carries a lot more weight from Carly.
But he has struggled with the abortion issue.
He has struggled with a lot of issues when it comes to women. As a matter of fact, he has basically turned a lot of women away. Yeah. But then again, quite frankly, you'll talk to a lot of women at Republican clubs, and they believe that Donald Trump is the best candidate. But I'm going to have to ask you then, because there are people who are saying that Donald Trump simply cannot win the women's vote back, that he has lost it. I mean, how much of it is emotion? How much of it is party? I mean, what's your thoughts on where he's going?
I think people have a tendency to group women all together as if we only care about issues like abortion, and that gets a little old. You talk to most women, that's not their number one priority. I'm not saying it isn't for some, but a lot of women, they worry about the economy. They worry about ISIS. They worry about affordable health care, paying off their student loans, their children's student loans. Everything does not have to be specifically a women's issue.
I got to be honest, I have not heard one woman in all the conversations I've had in the last year, when I asked them, what do you care about with regard to the election? I've not heard one of them say ISIS. Not one.
Well, I've heard
every single one of them that I've spoken to personally, I can only deal on personal basis, they say either they talk about abortion issue or family, economy. How am I going to keep my family going? How am I going to feed my family? Where are my kids going? That's what I hear a lot.
Yeah, but when it comes to working on presidential campaigns, you look at the whole demographic and then you subsect it. Few candidates run on everybody's main issue. They all run on your second most important and your third most important issue. So they divide and conquer. The most important issue is the economy. That's great. But maybe for Latinos from South America, it's immigration. And Latinos from the Caribbean, it's Pell Grants and education. And for African Americans, it's police violence. So all of these candidates are running on the second issues. Donald Trump is just, he's running his mouth and he's shooting from the hip, and people seem to like what he has to say. So he comes across as he's a more honest guy. But on the abortion issue, he gets killed because he's been all over the place on abortion.
Well, yeah, because he said, well, Planned Parenthood's done some good things, but I don't like the fact that they have abortions. He's kind of flip-flopped on that. I mean,
Are we coming back to really where we started, which is Donald Trump comes out tonight, he's very contrite, he's very low-leveled, and he's picking it up now as we go through the debate. You can tell that he's starting to generate a little bit more heat here on Hillary Clinton, which he needs to do.
Oh, yeah.
And that comes down again to that fact. What do the Trump followers want? Will they believe him if he suddenly becomes contrite and quiet?
I thought he had a miss moment there, though. We were talking about, we heard them both responding to the WikiLeaks, and I thought he had another missed opportunity there. Because I was listening to them talk about it, and, you know, Hillary was asked a question, and she said, no, if you read the whole statement, this is what I said. Well, here's the problem. Hillary Clinton's campaign has said, well, we don't even know if these are emails, or we don't recognize it, or we don't, okay. And then in the same breath, she says, well, this is the Russians influencing the United States political process. So which is it?
She gave credibility to the emails.
Right.
And then tried to refute them while her campaign is saying, we don't want to give any credibility to the
And then
emails.
at the same time saying that the election process can't be rigged. Well,
the emails show that it's rigged. So if the emails are valid and she's quoting them, no, you're 100% right. This is a big missed opportunity for Donald Trump, but he does this a lot because he's not really paying attention as a tactician.
Say that again. Wait a minute. What do you mean by that? Because there are people who will say that Donald Trump knows everything he's saying and is dead sure where he's going every time. What you're talking about is the tape recorder running in the back of the head. You
know how when I start talking and you check out and start thinking about the next question you're going to ask me, it's kind of...
What did you say, Tom?
I'm sorry, what I was thinking about what I was going to say.
It's kind of like that. Yes, that's what's going on.
Right.
So he's on a stage in front of hot lights, and it's a very different atmosphere than what he's used to. So what's happening is he's there and he's not really listening. He's thinking about the base answers instead of digging deep. So he's missing stuff like Miranda's talking about.
Here's an example, too, because a little bit later on, from what we just heard, he started to go back to, again, what has made his campaign. This is where it all started, was the border wall. And Donald Trump made sure that as they were talking about SCOTUS, when they're talking about abortion decisions, he makes the switch and gets the immigration issue in there. It's what his followers want to hear. Here it is.
We need the wall. The Border Patrol, ICE, they all want the wall. We stop the drugs. We shore up the border. One of my first acts will be to get all of the drug lords, all of the bad ones. We have some bad people in this country that have to go out. We're going to get them out. We're going to secure the border. And once the border is secured, at a later date, we'll make a determination as to the rest.
And of course, Hillary Clinton disagrees with Donald Trump on immigration. She makes the point again, says, I want reform. I don't want open borders. I don't want to just close the borders. I don't want to tear families apart. Here's what she said.
I don't want to rip families apart. I don't want to be sending parents away from children. I don't want to see the deportation force that Donald has talked about in action in our country. We have 11 million undocumented people. They have 4 million American citizen children, 15 million people. He said as recently as a few weeks ago in Phoenix that every undocumented person would be subject to deportation. Now, here's what that means. It means you would have to have a massive law enforcement presence.
All right, I only got 60 seconds left. We've talked about a lot of issues here. Tom, first of all, you're the branding guy here. People say that Donald Trump's got to score a knockout here. Does he really need to score a knockout? I mean, does he really need to do that to grab some of the undecideds?
No, he needs to stay on his feet and not spontaneously combust into flames. Anything shy of that, he'll call a victory, and they'll walk away to rallies where they have a couple of weeks left.
But isn't that fair to say that both sides, well, you and I both know this, we report on it every day, both sides are going to claim victory coming out of this. It's only going to be what the people saw. And again, I think you mentioned that nuanced thing that somebody is looking for that's going to change your mind. We don't know what that is. We have no idea what that is. I mean, we've talked about several issues.
He hasn't proven himself to be that savvy to pick out that nuance, right? So he's not proving himself to be a deep, intelligent, strategic thinker like you would expect somebody at the negotiating table to be. Wait, you just said something about your emails. Didn't you say that those emails were?
Right.
I'm voting for Miranda. That's my take.
I like that. And we didn't even talk about the fact that she said that he was a puppet of Putin. He said, no, you're the puppet.
Oh, you got to do it.
You got to
do it.
We're coming right back. What? No, dude. What'd you say, Tom? I'm sorry, I missed it completely. Thom Mozloom, Miranda Khan, thanks so much. Don't worry, our coverage is going to continue throughout the night. Miranda will be back. Tom is going to have to be forced to watch some of the debate next. Are we witnessing the end of the debates? We'll do that when we come back right here on this Newsmax special coverage.